Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie. And while I'm married with children, I'm deeply committed to an open relationship with snowboard gear. And this is a new board in Soul's line, the Tree D. It replaces the Frequent Flyer, which was a fun board, but a little more technical than you would think for the everyman's freeride board. This steps into that place and I think fills it better. I rode this in a wide variety of conditions, everything from some good groomers to a decent amount of powder and a little bit of stuff in between. I got this primarily with Ride Torrent boots and then once with Ride Fuse boots and Union Atlas. As far as sizing goes, this 158 felt maybe a touch small for me, but overall very good. I'm not sure if I would size up if they had another size, but I definitely wouldn't size down. So let's talk snowboard dating apps, some things that'll make you want to swipe right. This has spoon nose and some lifted sides and the tail to give you a little bit more of a forgiving ride without feeling washy or too weird. This has very good float, a good turning experience, nice pop out of the turn, a lot of chatter absorption for this much pop. So it only bucks and bounces a little bit in soft, uneven snow, but handles hard, uneven snow like a champ, has very competent edge hold. Some things that might make you want to swipe left. The tail is massively soft. I could never butter it. And for those who want a stiffer, more traditional freeride board feel, you might not like this. And I just want to take a moment to talk about my sponsor. It's the brand that's helping us bring honest and objective content to you. That's Blower Board Shop. They do their best to match pricing just as well as the big stores do. They have a strong online presence. They do their best to match pricing like the big stores do. They have fast shipping. They've been selling snowboard gear longer than some resorts have been allowing snowboarders on the hill. So if you're in the United States, give them some love. So let's talk shape. This is tapered and directional with a big ass nose and a smaller tail, but you ride this really centered on board. You can see here, you're definitely set back. It's definitely directional, but it doesn't feel as directional as it looks. This is not snow surf where you're back here. This is more freeride, alternative freeride. Let's talk camber profile. You have a healthy bow of camber. You can almost get under here and just pull it up like that. It's not quite there with boards like the Shift and some others like the Fukai, like I tested in the same time frame, but it's a good bit of camber. Then you have this spoon nose, a lot of curve here. I don't know if you can get that, but there you go. And while this is forgiving, it isn't washy and edgeless. When I engage the side cut, you feel just a touch of a transition from the spoon into the side cut. It's something that you get used to quickly. It only took me a few turns and I was cool with it. Maybe a few turns more than the Shift, but a lot less than what it took me to get used to with arbors, lifted contact points, and with Battalion's triple base technology. This doesn't have that learning curve, and I like that. When it comes to edge hold, there's nothing special here in terms of how this side cut is made, except for how it grips. I think it's a very competent board in hard snow. Doesn't grab at all in soft snow, so that's a bonus. So here is the Tree D Flex. It's definitely the softest of all the Soul boards. It's got a lot of give in the nose, much stiffer flex between the feet, but it's still softer than all the other Soul boards I've tried. A little bit of give in the tail, not a lot. And overall, it feels really soft on snow, and you can feel it give here. It just gives so much more than all the other Souls. And just to elaborate on the flex personality, when I went to tail butter this, I fell onto my ass. Then I got back up, I tried to butter again, I dialed it back 50% and I fell on my ass again. And then basically I gave up. If you just give the slightest lean to the tail, it just butters up too much. On a powder day, I tried to lean back into this tail a little too much and really tried to ollie off of it, and it just kind of washed on me and sent me wheeling into my drop. So you really want to engage this from the center, and you don't want to try to lean back in and pop up the tail. That I don't like. I wish this had a stiffer tail. Don't want to butter the nose either because of the spoon nose. It's washy. So I guess, pun intended, it's a wash when it comes to buttering. But this has very good pop, and once you figure out how to ollie it, it's great. Now you take this flex personality and you ride it in all kinds of conditions. I thought this would just buck and bounce me around and it would be a chattery mess. It is not. This oscillate technology really dampens the ride, makes it a lot easier in hard uneven snow than you would think. It's a great all-day ride. In soft uneven snow, yes, it can buck a little bit, but it's not a fatiguing buck, and it's something you can get used to very quick. So this is great for those that see all conditions. When it comes to speed, this just doesn't have the flex personality for true bombing, but the side cut doesn't fight you when you need to straight line, and that's good. It's also got a lot more dampness and chatter absorption than you would think, so you're not gonna get that crazy clown shoe effect with bigger noses that have some early rise on spoon tech like a lot of boards do. Now the base is clear, it has good glide. It's not amazing, but it's definitely up there, and I felt it carried its speed very well when well waxed. Yes, I'd love to see a higher end all black base that's easier to repair, but this does pretty good if you get clear PTEX and a good PTEX gun that doesn't create that black stuff in there. And then you can keep this base looking nice as you gouge it riding off piste. It's inevitable. When it comes to turning and carving, I loved how this board made a quick turn. I could just go anywhere I wanted with this and it just went right there. I would say it's medium fast to fast. Then when I got this camber profile with this little bit of lifted tech engaged, I felt like it was pretty fun. It's a very turny board. You can across the groomer carve, you can circle carve, you can do some down the line carves. Well, not amazing, but fun. And overall, I thought there was good pop out of the turn. It's no shift in terms of carving and spring out of the turn, but it's very good. In comparison to the 3DX, I liked how much easier this was to manage turning in all types of conditions. The 3DX lit up more in good conditions, but when conditions got uneven, that wider width just wasn't as much fun to turn. When it comes to powder, you have a big nose, you have a smaller tail, you have a good bit of taper, and you have a decent setback on board. Now, one thing about this is the stance range of this board is off. New boards moving forward, all the boards you order are much wider. So take this with a grain of salt. But if you set this all the way back, it's 18 inches. I think the next time around, it's gonna be more like 20 something. But the difference between nose and tail set all the way back with this board is 7.625 inches. It might be more, it might be the same with the new stance range, but overall, the takeaway here is there is a shit ton of directional float. When I was riding it almost all the way forward and all the way back, and even then I had very easy float. It's got more directional float than the Cardiff Pagoda and the Jones Mind Expander. But in comparison to the 3DX, which is shorter and wider and more floaty, even more turny, the Shift or the Blower or those kind of boards didn't float as well. But it's amazing for its peer group for sure. I could ride this Switch pretty well, much better than you would think for its directional shape. I wish there was more stiffness in the tail for getting air, but overall, this is a very fun ride. I like this a lot more than the Frequent Flyer, and I think it's a nice evolution of that board, forgiving enough, very floaty, fun to turn, excellent pop, and amazing chatter absorption. There you have it.